Earlier in the year, we paid a visit to our friends Jen and Dean Whitmore, who have a farm and homestead in a nearby town where they raise some rare breeds of sheep for fiber and veggies and flowers for food, herbal concoctions, and dyeing. Dean also builds tiny homes, and they have one on their land that they B&B. And you may recall that he helped build his son-in-law's and daughter's tiny home in our barn at Flock.
We're open on Saturdays now. So this is some of our mill spun, and just feel it, so soft.
Ooh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Is this dyed or is this the?
No, that's their natural
the
color.
Oh wow! What kind of sheep are they from?
This is from Jacob.
Jacob
so we
sheep.
have Jacob sheep, and we have Hog Island sheep, and then we also have some crosses. Both Jacob and Hog Island are conservation breed sheep. Hog Island are critical, and Jacob are like recovering. They're pretty stable, I think, because they're super cute. They have spotted fleeces, and so everybody's like, oh, they look like little baby cows.
Like little Dalmatians, yeah.
So to get this color, we separate out the fleeces on shearing day. So we'll put all the white in a bag and all the colored in a bag, and then anything we can't separate turns into our gray color for the year. So like you can see here, like this would be 2 different years.
Yeah. Wow.
So everything's reflected in this fiber, like the health of the sheep, how much sun we got that year. Everything.
It's such a cool resource. You know, another thing that you could do is they sell. They use it more, I think, in Europe than here, but I can't find enough of it. But like wool matting for gardening, it's hard to find that. Although this is kind of more premium.
Yeah, you would want to get the skirtings on shearing day, which a lot of farms here are doing that now. Which it's even better than this actually, because it'll still have like the poo, like any poo from the sheep from around their tail.
So basically
like manure
fertilizer.
Plus, yeah. So this is actually one of the classes that I just taught. I just taught a group of 8 kids and their parents how to make these just with water. And a little bit of soap in there, and then the fiber. Yeah. And so, and then we just did a little needle felted heart. I know it does smell good, doesn't it? But we don't make the soap. I already do enough things. Yeah. This is all plant dyes, and actually this one right here, this is dyed with the indigo that we grew on the farm. Yeah. That's a beautiful color. Yeah, that's the fresh versus the fermented indigo. Yeah, that's beautiful. You can have a reminds me of the Meadow House vibes. Oh, yeah. That color. So all of those ones are plant dyes, and those are ones that you do, because you do plant dyeing as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Like this one right here. This is the indigo, and then it's I'm trying to think if it's marigold or what's on the other side. I think this is marigold on the other side. I can also use like goldenrod, which is plentiful. Fix the dyes to the wool? So since I'm working with wool, it's actually like very color fast compared to plant protein. So really these are, they're wool anyway, so they're not gonna be on something that you like wash out repeatedly. Yeah. So to make a hat or some little fingerlings or a scarf or something, and then just, spot wash. Yeah. It'll be fine. As long as you keep it out of the sun. Right. But you have to keep anything out of the sun. Right, that's true. This is where I teach classes. So we set up a tent and put the tables and chairs out here in the front. And these are herbal classes or apothecary classes? They are. Okay. There's pretty much everything that I do, even art-wise, it's all based on plants, fiber from sheep. So one or the other. It smells nice in here. Yeah. It's like fresh wood. The earth plaster and the wood. Yeah. So this is the studio, and this is like all the plant stuff that I work with for dyeing, and there's like carrot leaves down here for dyeing fibers, and so this is to keep this separate, so that I don't have anything like mixing like at the at the house and everything.
Yeah.
Although like everything that I use is like super like citric acid. Like it could be in your food anyway, but obviously not in the dose that you would want if I'm dyeing something with it.
But it's also good to keep the cookies that you're baking in this separate.
Exactly. That could really ruin a batch of cookies.
Yeah.
We've had classes from anywhere from like, I don't know, like maybe 6 kids up to like 15.
Mm-hmm.
And we just set up out there in that little yard and the kids come, and so far we've had great weather every single time, and it's just been really enjoyable. They learn about plants. I have had lots of repeat kids come back every year, so it's kind of fun. I'm like watching them get older and connect with plants, and we've done flower pounding, and we go on like plant ID walks together, and we've done tea blending. And I teach them to blend like by instinct, like smell what you'd like to put in the blend and put it together. We've made salves from things they'll go and pick. We did some herbal syrups a couple of different times with honey.
And then do you also loom? And
this is hopefully in the near future. Somebody came. This is like technically just on loan to me, but I would like to see somebody come and take this back apart and get it back out the door. Just kidding. I'm sure they could, but yeah, I had somebody come and like walk me through the steps of what I have to do, and she was like, this piece here is super, like it feels dry rotted, so I have to replace this fabric before it can do anything.
And then you have a spinning wheel up here.
Yeah, okay. So that is my occupation of choice, is that I'm a spinner, and I hand spin most of our wool. We also do send some of our fiber from our sheep to the mill because I'm only one person, so I can't keep up with all the gifts they give me.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how many sheep you have, right?
Yeah.
Is this sheep's wool insulation?
It is not, but there's sheep's wool in the this is sheep's wool insulation. And this is our clay from the creek here. It's actually this green color until it gets heated, and then it turns that like terracotta brick color. But yeah, any of these little, you can actually see a bunch right here. We had a friend freak out because she thought the walls were molding, and we're like, this is wool. This is fuzzy wool from the sheep.
So how thick of sheep's wool insulation are you using on the inside of your house?
I mean, it's really just enough for the fiber ratio in the plaster.
I see, okay.
Yeah, but in my mind, I am warmer because my sheep's wool's on the walls and cooler in summer.
Jen also recently opened up a cool community-oriented coffee shop and bookstore with her brother Joe in Owego, which is a historic town in the southern tier of New York. So we thought we'd swing by shortly after opening to pay them a visit.
We're here at Spellbound in Owego. You may remember Jen, but she's not on the farm this time. So Jen, you and your brother opened up Spellbound when? Just like not too long ago.
2 weeks ago was our soft opening. And like I said, we didn't want to do a grand opening right away, but it was kind of a grand soft opening. We have just really enjoyed meeting all of our neighbors. We've had a lot of people return, and it's just been an exciting time to kind of join the merchant scene in Owego.
Yeah, I mean, this is a cozy space. I mean, the ceiling's a little low, and it feels very intimate and wonderful. I mean, every time you pair like coffees and teas with something, whether it's a bookshop, plant shop, whatever it might be. It's kind of a nice mix because it draws people in. Everybody needs their like daily dose of caffeine.
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't know, maybe that it was slightly unique to me to like what my dream was, but then when I came up with the idea, Joe loved it too, especially the cafe side because he has a lot of experience in managing kitchens. But then after we opened, so many people have said when they come in the door, they're like, this is my dream, coffee and books.
Yeah. Now these are books for sale, or
Right.
is it almost like a library, like people can read the book while they're drinking tea? Like,
I mean, they're welcome to.
copacetic?
They're totally welcome to read
Yeah.
the books while they're hanging out here. Right now, we have used books for sale. We have a small amount of new books, and we will have a bunch of new books soon. We're working up to the new books.
Yeah, well, this is great. I mean, even being like an author myself, it's kind of cool because like even with a bookshop, you could host like little gatherings and things like that. What are some of the like events planned, you know, in your mind, even if it's not planned on the calendar right now? What are some things that you'd like and hope for here?
Our number one goal as a business is to be a place for our community to be. So even though we sell books and we're making coffee and snacks for sale, like that's what our whole theme is. So starting off, we actually have an art class that's going to be here in June. Joy Hill is coming from Rainbow Trout Laboratories. She's a art teacher there, and she owns an art studio. And she's going to come in and do a class that's going to teach people like all kinds of techniques, like packing tape transfers and bubble wrap paintings and things. And then we also have a speaker in July who's coming in. He's going to be speaking about, he is an expert on all things like Tolkien and C.S. Lewis.
Oh, that's cool.
Which those are two of our favorite authors.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited about that. That's going to be a free event by donation to his organization. We're also going to do some kids classes, are in the works, and you know, if anybody wanted to start like a book club or a tea tasting club or like any kind of meeting like that, we're super happy to be the space. We're gonna get another table too. We just have that one right now, but we're planning to get another one about the same size and then kind of rearrange and have like a big class space right here.
That's great. I mean, so here, if you're in and around Owego and you're looking for a new community space and you have some ideas, send them to Jen because she's all open. She's all ears.
That's right. We're the space.
Yeah, and then you also have some, it looks like you have beeswax candles. It looks like you have some stuff from your apothecary. Do you want to take me through some of the things that you have here?
Our focus is local. Like our bagels are from Sydney, New York. They are amazing. And our coffee is from Copper Horse Roasters, which is really right around the corner from Owego.
That's awesome.
We also have like some locally made pins. We do have a bunch of stickers. We don't have our display done.
Yeah.
That's on the honey-do list with Dean.
And then wait, so how do you go about, like, because you have a used bookstore, obviously. How do you go about curating used books? And like, do you go out and select specific categories that interest you or that think you will interest the community, or like, did you only select like a few categories?
That was actually one of the things that triggered the idea for opening a bookstore. Somebody told me, and it was kind of like, it's somebody in my family, but it was like the second or third time I had been told, like right in a row, and they said, you have a unique gift for picking books for people, because I give books a lot as presents. Yeah. And so then I was like, and I just kind of looked around the house and I was like, I sort of live in a bookstore already. And then the idea just flowed from there. Yeah. And so
I only have like one genre of books though, and it's like nature.
That is high on my list of things that I would pick out. But
I already scoped out the garden book corner in there, the garden botany corner.
Yeah, that's only like half of what we have though. We're shelving more books all the time. So we're focusing on like folk and fairy tales, fantasy, things like that, because that's our, like our motif here. We're trying to evoke a little bit of like a woodland feel.
You should definitely like lean into like the whole witchy apothecary, that type of thing. I think you could go down that level, like even more.
Yeah. Well, we like to keep it a little simple too.
Yeah.
Like Joe and I do have Scandi roots, and we kind of like things
like a little bit more
a
Scandinavian.
little spare, like a little scaled back.
That's great.
But you can see from our mural that she's painting right now, we're kind of like, we're adding a little more magic as we go. She's right in front of actually where all of the apothecary things are, the teas and salves, and the facial serum, the hair oil, and body oils. And then we also have the farm-made, the face and beard oils. We have a perfume that we blend ourselves from plants, and then botanical inks.
Fantastic. I love it. It's so cute. It's adorable.
Thank you.
We hoped you enjoyed the little tour through our friends' ventures in the Finger Lakes. We'll be visiting some more places in between our own landscaping and renovations here at Flock. Now, 10% of our Google AdSense revenue is reinvested back into community projects here in the Finger Lakes. So by liking, subscribing, and hitting the notifications button, you're supporting us and the surrounding community, and we thank you for that. See you in the next video.